We begin in the United Kingdom, where the police say the death of David Amess was a terror incident. The Conservative lawmaker was stabbed multiple times as he met with constituents. A 25-year-old man is in custody. Police now say their investigation has revealed the crime may have been motivated by Islamist extremism. The killing has rocked the constituency that David Amess served for decades.
A church that became a crime scene. Here, David Amess was listening to his constituents' problems, listening to the people, the most basic ritual of British democracy. Hours later, police officers in protective suits sweep into the church, their investigation into the MP's stabbing seemingly advancing rapidly. In a tweet, London's Metropolitan Police said the murder of Sir David Amess in Essex earlier today has now been declared a terrorist incident, and the Met's Counter-Terrorism Command will lead the investigation. At another church, not far from the first, shock and grief. People from this town came here to remember Amess. He was a popular local politician, first elected in the early 1980s.
We pray for ourselves gathered here, trying to make sense of what occurred here today. We pray for wisdom and understanding.
Tributes too at the British Prime Minister's residence, number 10 Downing Street. The Union Jack lowered to half-mast as Boris Johnson remembered a stalwart of his party.
The reason I think people are so shocked and saddened is, above all, he was one of the kindest, nicest, most gentle people in politics. And he also had an outstanding record of passing laws to help.
On Saturday morning, Johnson arrived to pay his respects outside the church. Local people have also laid flowers in tribute to Amess. Few would have seen this coming, the violent killing of a parliamentarian in a suburban church. It happened in this leafy neighbourhood, a once quiet corner of England.
DW correspondent Charlotte Chelsom-Pill is standing by for us in Lee-on-Sea, where the attack occurred. Hi, Charlotte. Good to see you. This has been truly shocking. How are locals coping with it?
Well, as you say, Pablo, this really is a community waking up in shock and horror this morning at what took place here. Yesterday afternoon, there's been a steady stream of local members of the community coming here to the church just behind me where the attack took place, laying flowers, many extremely emotional, and just looking at some of the tributes that have been left for Sir David Amess. Really, a picture begins to build of the politician that he was. Many include messages from people describing their very personal interactions from Sir David Amess, ways in which he helped them change their lives. This does seem to have been a man who was very dedicated to his local community. Now, among those who have been paying tribute here today to Sir David Amess, as you mentioned in the report, just there was the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, and the leader of the opposition Labour Party, Sir Keir Starmer. They arrived side by side from across, representing both sides of the political aisle, to pay their respects to the man who lost his life here yesterday. They laid flowers. They were joined as well by the Interior Minister, the Home Secretary, as she's called here, Priti Patel, who of course is watching the investigation develop very closely. It is still the early stages, but as you mentioned in that report there, police have said that the investigation so far has revealed a potential motivation linked to Islamist extremism. So that will, of course, be the line that they'll be following throughout the days ahead.
Charlotte, you've just touched on it there as well, but can you tell us a little bit about David Amess and perhaps the reasons why he may have been targeted?
Well, beyond what I mentioned, the potential motivation linked to Islamist extremism, there is no motive, certainly none that has been disclosed officially so far. And as I say, Sir David Amess, all the tributes suggest that he was a kind and dedicated politician. The Prime Minister himself, as you said there, described him as one of the kindest, nicest and most gentle people in politics. He was a father of 5, married, and of course everyone here in this local community will be thinking of the loss and thinking of his wife and his children as well. He was also one of the longest serving politicians in Parliament. So a huge loss, not just here, but to the political establishment as well.
What kind of security measures are in place when members of the public meet with their members of Parliament?
Not very many is the honest answer to that. Now, these weekly meetings that take place on a Friday between politicians and members of the public is one of the key tenets of democracy here in the UK, this direct channel between politicians and members of the public, allowing people to hold them to account. Now, those usually happen without any security presence to speak of. That is unlike, obviously, Westminster, the Houses of Parliament, which is very carefully guarded. Now, there is going to be a review into that now going forward, particularly in light of the fact that this is the second serving politician in 5 years who has lost their life meeting members of the public. The last being Joe Cox, as I'm sure you can remember, died in 2016 in the run-up to the Brexit referendum. So horror now that this has happened once again here in the UK.
Charlotte Chelsom-Pill, thank you.